Good morning. Good morning. Just getting myself here together real quick here before we get this thing going. More bets, more bets, more bets, and more bets coming. Stream is starting soon. We got the NFC West coming up today. So stick with me. Get my coffee right. Get myself together to be presentable. I was having a laugh with my guy Ralphie in the background for a little bit. I tell you what, man. This is just a this is not a warning. It's not anything, man. It's just the who I am and my DNA. You can call me an asshole, you can call me a jerk, you can call me what you want. But if you say some weird shit around me, I'm gonna let you know. I'm just telling you, I'm just gonna let you know. That's just me, baby. That's just me, man. Oh man. I like the little background thing where I can talk and y'all can just wait for me to come on. We got the coffee, so we good here. I'm feeling good, looking good. Time to make some money. Let's go. We don't. Welcome everybody back to another episode of Money Pot Podcast, Money Pot Betting. I am your host. I am the CEO. I'm the president. I am him. I am him. They call me Moss Money, and we are talking NFC West today. We've been running down the divisions. Football has started. How great was it to see football again on the Hall of Fame game? Even though it was kind of exciting. It was kind of an exciting game, right? Like the Browns came back, I think, or I forget who came back. I wasn't really watching it. It wasn't really hype, but it's just good to know football's back. And then Demarcus Ware went and ruined it, trying to sing the national anthem and really trying. So for my for the culture, for my black folks, he was like, like he eyes squinting, everything. Like he was fully in the mode, and I couldn't stop laughing at this grown man, Hall of Famer, really trying to hit these tunes. You know what I mean? We always gotta do something extra, man. But it is what it is. Let's go. We're talking about NFC West. Let's talk about the Cardinals. Let's talk about the Seahawks. Let's talk about those Niners. And let's talk about those Rams. Before we get into it, the poll question of the day is going to be brought to you by Fan Up. Fan Up still giving out money today. Best MLB fantasy book app around. You should put in A2D. You get 5,000 bonus points or $50 on all your DFS. So make sure you guys hit Fan Up. Still on iOS only as of right now. But who doesn't have an iPhone outside of me? So what you gonna do? All right, what you gonna do? Poll question of the day. I didn't even know this until I actually did some research. Brock Purdy is actually playing and starting at camp. Right? I didn't even know this. I didn't even know he came back so fast. I believe he got the Tommy John surgery. I don't know. I didn't really research how many quarterbacks actually had that type of surgery. I think it's was it UCLL, LCL, whatever that he tore. And he is actually looking like he's going to start. I know he's practicing. I don't. They're not giving the full set of health yet. I don't mind the kid going. He had his shot. He was the star of the team. The team follow him. It is still kind of his team. He took over that team, Mr. Irrelevant himself. So, Facebook, YouTube, Twitter. Let me know what y'all thinking, man. Will Brock Purdy start week 1 of the NFL coming back super early? Because, I mean, pitchers come back, it takes them a year. But this guy's trying to come back. I think it's been 5 or 6 months since the surgery, and he's throwing, talking about he ain't scared to get hit. This could be a dangerous team if he's back there at quarterback and he kind of picks up some of that magic. I'm going to agree to the poll for myself. I think he does play, and he does get back. So we will see how that looks. But yeah, let me know what y'all think, man. As I get the sports book, I've been using FanDuel recently, So let's stick with FanDuel. I think they got a little bit better with their kind of with their odds. So we'll be using FanDuel today, hitting y'all with some bets and bets and bets. I like to start out with Chris, man. Chris always hit me with them predictions he's got. Let's throw him up there. Let's go. Let's throw him up there, Chris. I give you your shine, baby. Since you come through on the come through, I give you your shine, baby. I can't get over that DeMarcus Ware shit. That shit was crazy. This guy was really trying to hit them. Yeah, he had to have a singing coach too. He just didn't wake up and just started singing. He had a singing coach for sure. Now, I can't sing. You know what I mean? So I'd be one. It'd take a lot of balls to get it in front of a lot of people and sing like that. So I'm not knocking it. But bruh, somebody had to tell him, like, you know what I mean? Like your boy, you know what I mean? Or your wife, your significant other. If you wearing some dumb shit, they should tell you you're wearing some dumb shit. Like, that shit not cute. Like, nobody should have told you that was a good look, right? You gotta have people who got your back and let you know what's up. And DeMarcus Ware, somebody should have told DeMarcus Ware to sit his ass, his Hall of Fame ass, right down and stop trying to hit these notes, man. All right. That shit was funny. We got the odds up here for the NFC West. No surprise here. The Niners are pulling away. I think they are the favorite, the highest touted favorite in any division, at minus 165. Seattle's coming back on the rear, plus 2,000. I'm sorry, plus 200. And then the Rams are plus 1,000. Arizona Cardinals plus 2,700. Let's go to my man, Chris. What does he got? So what you got for me, bro? You got the Niners at 12-5. Seattle at 9-8, Rams at 8-9, Cards at 6-11. A lot of people have the Cards lower than 6, the worst team. I don't see that bad. Okay. All right, we'll get to it. Not bad. I disagree on the two teams below that. I don't see them being that good of a team. They just don't have enough on offense or on defense. And we'll break down those rosters. But we'll talk about the favorite right now with the 49ers minus 165. Now, for me, I think it's clear cut that the Niners are going to be the favorites and should win this division and should be a threat, especially if Purdy plays. At minus 165, it makes a lot of sense, kind of creeping up 2-0. The only concern I have with the Niners is two concerns. They lost arguably the best defensive coordinator in the league last year in D'Amico Ryans. So that's a big, big loss, right, for them. They still got the guys there, but they lost. They got Hargraves, obviously everybody knows, being out in Eagles. And then Bosa sitting out now. I don't think it's a big deal because Nick Bosa is such a star of a defensive player, arguably the best pass rusher in the league, arguably the best in the league. But he's going to get paid. What that looks like, we don't know. But still in all, he's not with the guys. He's not practicing. When you play football long enough, you have to understand camp is a necessity. We don't like camp. We don't want to, hit 2-3 times a day. But the body needs to get catalyzed, get kind of hardened from getting hit. Like, you got to get used to getting hit left and right, taking those bumps, taking those bruises. And then sooner or later, your body kind of comes around and you kind of heal and you kind of get used to it week in and week out. This is how football is. But you have to hit. You got to hit. Like, that's how injuries happen when they don't hit in camp. It's just a part of the game. And anybody who's played football almost any level or coached it kind of understands that. So that could be a problem. He's always had some kind of soft tissue issues too as well. But when he plays, he's a monster. Arguably the best defensive player in the league. So, but with that said, this roster is loaded. I mean, they took a kicker in the third round because they had nothing else to pick because this team is so goddamn loaded from top to bottom. You got CMC at the running back position, Debo, Ayuk, Jennings, Kittles, Um, Trent Williams. This offensive line is stacked. This defense, Hargrave, Armstead, Bosa, Warner, Ward, Gibson Sr. Like, they're just loaded everywhere, and arguably the best roster on paper in the NFL. You could make that argument easily, probably top 3 without a doubt. So this team is ready to go, and they're loaded, and the scheme is good. From the offensive side, we'll see what the defensive scheme changes to, right? Because of Ryan's leaving. So we'll see if that, I think they take a step. You have to take a step back. When you have that good of a defensive minded coach who's been there, put the culture there, you have to, you're going to take a step back here, for sure. But from a betting perspective, easy bet here to make this bet. I'm just not betting it. It's too high on the tax for them to win, but it makes sense of why they are up there from that perspective. Looking at win totals here real quick, I believe they were at 10.5. Now you can find 10.5 easy for them. The question is the quarterback. Like, that's the question you have to ask yourself. Do you trust Purdy? And if you do, you must trust Kyle Shanahan's scheme, because you know it's so quarterback friendly. Because it feels like they can plug and play anybody in there and they get wins. So you don't feel so bad if Purdy gets hurt, Purdy's not ready. You don't feel so bad about the Niners just because the roster's so goddamn loaded. So again, very high tax on them to go over 10.5. I do think they get the 10.5. 11 or 12 wins makes a lot of sense for this team. Just too talented of a team. They would have to absolutely implode for them not to get the 10.5 wins. And then obviously you got the tax minus 145. Again, I can't find the bet. I can't find the bet on the Niners regular season wins or winning the division. If you're betting the Niners to win the division, taking the fanboy out of it, you have to like them to win the NFC East. I mean, I'm sorry, the NFC. Right? You have to like them to win the NFC. Let's see what their odds are in the NFC. Yeah, they're second, plus 400. If I was betting the NFC Championship winner, Purdy's back, trying to take the fanboy out of it, you can find value on the Niners here. Eagles are the favorite for a reason, aka Jalen Hurts. But like we just talked about and reiterating again and again about how good this roster is, how well coached they are, plus 400, I can find a bet. I can find a bet for them to win the NFC. It's the cream of the crop. It's going to be between the Niners and the Eagles. No doubt about it. There's no doubt in my mind it's going to be between the Niners and the Eagles. So taking the fanboy out, you can find a bet for the 49ers here. I already have a future bet on the Eagles winning. So do I want to kind of, it's not hedging, you know what I mean? Maybe even a little bit of protection because you're betting on the second team. For neither of these teams to win an NFC championship, something has to happen. Injuries, just bad luck, ball not bouncing their way, bad performance. Between these two, something has to happen. But here's the question, or here's the issue. Say you want to bet both of these, right? You want to put, let's say, 2 units on each. 200 to win 8, right? 200 to win here, right? So that means you have $400 invested in the top 2 NFC championship winners. So technically, it's more like 2.5 to 1, right? Because you have 400 with 2 to 1, 400 to win 800. Really is what that's saying. And even lower odds, 1.5 to 1, 400 to win 660. So be careful if you play both sides. This is why it's called what's it called? What's it called? Arbitrage? I forget what it's called. But there's a way where you set up your bet and you kind of don't lose, but you're just making profit, right? That's the key. You want to walk away with more money than you left with, right? That's the key. But This is not ideal for my bet small, win big winners. It's not ideal to wait a year and some change, of the football season to see who wins, right? And then if it's one of these teams who makes it versus another team that's not there, say Kirk Cousins gets there and it's the Vikings, right, versus the Niners, now you got to bet again, kind of to hedge your bet to make sure you come on the other side. You see what I'm saying? So you can find yourself kind of getting down deeper into the rabbit hole there, where you're kind of putting more money and then you're just kind of like breaking even. Better than losing, of course, but that's not how we want to bet. So just be careful on when you bet like that. But I can find a Niners a bet here for the conference. So let me go back to some of the comments, man. Sorry, I'm missing y'all here. Sports wise with Bing. Is Purdy 100% healthy? If he is, I'll take the Niners. Seahawks have an explosive offense, top 5 potential, but I don't think their defense is that strong. Not saying it's bad, just mediocre. Facts. Big facts, brother. I agree. He's not going to be 100%. There's no way that he is going to be 100%. But the Kyle Shanahan offense, the West Coast offense, is not predicated on deep shots, right? It's about getting the ball out as quickly as possible. Even screens, small throws to the running backs, swing passes are considered runs, and that kind of West Coast type style offense. Shanahan is a mastermind from the offensive side. Just he just shows up small in big games. So I do agree here, but I think they'll be smart enough to protect Purdy if he's healthy, and just get the ball in the playmakers and let playmakers make plays. I mean, that's really what it comes down to. So, and that defense is still nasty. So, I think they'll be okay. I definitely think they'll be okay with that. Like you said, Witherspoon and Woodley gonna be nasty. Yeah, we'll talk about Seattle in a little bit. Mr. Marcus, what's up, bro? Appreciate you jumping on, man. You can tell you play football once you start calling me Moss. Yes, so you already know. They already know. The camp reports on Brock Purdy are hilarious. A lot of people saying that Purdy is just just mid at best. Yeah, I didn't even know he was playing, bro. Like I said in the beginning, I didn't even know he was back there. Like I didn't know he was back until I started doing research for the show today. So I find that interesting that he's back. And all the odds and the numbers if you're a betting guy, if you bet on the low. Excuse me. A little bit of I sneezed right there. Got caught. um, but yeah, um, he caught magic. He caught fire. So I get why he's not going to relinquish that up. He don't want no like this. They're looking at the Super Bowl, right? They're looking at super aspirations. Everybody in San Fran feels if Purdy would have played in that game against the Eagles, that they would have won, right? I don't know why that is, but whatever. So they feel like they can get back there and they can beat anybody. So we'll see. We'll see how that goes. Oh wow. Brinkman, what's up, bro? He said he blows. I'd rather have Dak. I don't that's a good question. Who would you rather have? That's a good question. Brock Purdy or Dak Prescott? Ooh, I don't know about that, bro. I might have to take Dak on that. I've seen 7 games from Purdy. I've seen career with Dak, at least with his career. I know Dak can come back from an injury, at least. That's an interesting question. Brock Purdy or Dak Prescott? Give me Nick Foles. Fuck them both. Trash. You know what I mean? Thank you everybody for jumping on too. If you're out there, man, make sure you hit that like button, hit that share button, hit that notification button. If you aren't following me on Money Pot Betting, on Money Pot Podcast, make sure you are. As always, follow the lead train. Follow A2D Radio if you haven't. If you're new to the show, thank you for jumping on as always. All right. Yo, Pete, what's up, bro? What's going on, man? Appreciate you, brother. Thank you. All right, let's get back to the bets. Keep the comments coming, man. I'll get to you. Keep the comments coming. All right. So we found taking the Eagles fan out of it. Brock Purdy's back. We can find a bet for San Fran because, like I said, the top two make sense. If you already have an Eagles bet here, you don't get caught going down the rabbit hole. All right. So down here in the and don't worry, that parlay, that wide receiver parlay is coming. I got y'all. Now let's talk about the Seattle Seahawks because it's an interesting dynamic with Seattle. Now Geno showed up last year and it was just like ridiculous, right? We didn't think Geno had that. You know what I mean? What Geno say? He said, "What was that thing?" He said somebody called. He didn't. They didn't leave a message or some dumb shit. He said like he forget what it was. And it was everybody looked at us like, "What? Huh? What? What does that mean, Gino?" But I guess it sounded cool live. But still, in all, that offense is loaded. Metcalf, um, Lockett, and who was the rookie? Jackson Smith. I forget how you say his last name. But that offense is loaded. Now, the interesting thing right now that I know at camp is that the running backs are taking a hit right now. Both running backs are hurt. Their draft pick is hurt. From I think it was he not LSU. He was from UCLA. Zach, and then the Kenneth Walker the third is hurt and kind of beat up too. So it'll be interesting if they can get back into the fold here. Might be a split here, but for me, the Seattle team is not going to pass. They're going to stick to what they do, and that's run the goddamn ball down their throats. That's what they do, and that's what they do well. So they have the weapons for Gino, but I don't know if this offense identity is all of a sudden going to change to this like kind of passing offense. And I don't believe that Gino can do it again. Like they gave him a deal, but it was another prove-it deal, right? I think he can get off it in a year. So they gave him the money, but it was just like, now you're gonna have to prove it. So does that give Gino like I'm wondering like what does that do for your psyche? Right? You go out there and you ball. Like you ball and you play for cheap money and you get the deal, and the deal is only really a year rental almost. Like you're getting paid. Like, let me bring up his contract. I just want to see it. 3 year, 105 million, right? But they can get off it after this year, right? He's getting 27 million this year. 40 of it is guaranteed, but they can get out of it next year when he turns 34. So, you know what I mean? Like, how does that feel? Like, you got your money, right? Like, you did get your money. It's the most money you ever had, most career you ever had. Excuse me. You played for 7 million last year. So, I guess, you know what I mean? Like, you get a $20 million raise, right? So, but I feel like I would want more. Like at least give me 2 years. But getting back to the bets, Seattle offense is loaded. Defense, I think, is going to be underrated because I think, like the homie said before, they drafted Witherspoon. Woodland was a monster last year. I believe people forgot Jamal Adams got hurt like game one of last year. He was out all last year. And they got Quadre Diggs back there. That secondary could be scary. Now, Adams got to stay healthy, but when he's healthy, he's a problem. And then you get your leader back after that big turmoil from last year and Bobby Wagner. Defensive line is not like it used to be, what we remember from the classic Seattle Seahawks defenses. But that back end, Wagner, you got Devin Bush, Taylor, I believe was like second or third in tackles. So the back half of that back end of that defense, from the secondary to the linebacker core, man, like like there's some tackling machines over there. Like Wagner, easily over 100 tackles. Taylor, over 100 tackles. I think Brooks was a problem last year. And then you put him back with that secondary. If they can find a pass rush at the 12-2 in Seattle, this team is going to be somewhat legit. And don't let San Fran slip up. Like, don't let San Fran slip up. And Seattle could easily kind of come on here. So let me look at the let me bring up the schedule real quick just to show y'all what I'm talking about. Because I really do think that Seattle is a solid bet here, man. Right? So they got the Rams up first, then at Detroit, Carolina, and then at New York. I think Seattle Seahawks could easily start 4-0. At worst, 3-1. They beat the Rams. Say they lose to Detroit in a shootout. They beat Carolina and they beat New York early by. Right? So can we find more losses? Is Barrow going to be back for game 6? Is Barrow playing here? So this is a question mark. This ain't a win by Cincinnati if Barrow's not playing. But like these are some weaker teams in the early here. Rams, Carolina, New York, even though I think New York's underrated, New York's not like great, right? I think Seattle's roster is better than New York. But Arizona, home for Cleveland, right? Washington is not an easy out, but home for Washington. So let's find the losses real quick. Worst case scenario, they lose to Detroit, they lose to Cincinnati. In Cleveland, I think they beat Cleveland. They lose to Baltimore, that's 3 losses. They lose to San Fran, that's 4 losses. Lose to San Fran again, that's 5 losses. Say they lose to Dallas, that's 6 losses. And say they lose to us, 7 losses. So that means they would be 10-7, right? Worst case scenario. And that's a 4-game losing streak at the end here where you don't want to lose. They're still 10-7. Like, where are my other losses here? Like, they lose to New York at New York? I don't think so. This is the daunting task, having to play San Fran twice, play Dallas, and then Philly, right? But this schedule is kind of favorable. They don't have a lot of home, like away games in a row. Just the 2 back-to-back short turnaround. Well, no, that's not a short turnaround. Thursday night game, then they get almost that mini bye week right there, a week and a half into the next game. Right? For a huge game in Seattle, at Seattle. This could be tough, right? Coming off Seattle and then having to no, they'll be on the West Coast because this will be home for Philly. So no. I could see them getting 10-7 and 11-6. So what's their over and under on their record real quick here? I'll get to y'all comments, man. I see them. Win totals. If they're at 8.5, then that's an easy bet. I just called it 8.5. Oh, but there's money. There's tax on it, man. It's minus 142. I don't know, man. I think it's just low. I think it really should be 9.5. At the very least, they get 9 games. 9-8 doesn't sound right to me. Even if Geno is average, I still think this roster is good enough. I think the defense is underrated. What about them to make the playoffs? Can we find a bet for them to make the playoffs plus money? What do they make the playoffs? Shit, I was already looking at it. Minus 122. NFC. They would be a wild card, right? If you like the Niners. So who could stop them from getting in the wild card? The Lions, maybe. Cowboys, right? But there's 3 wild cards, right? The Giants, Vikings. The Vikings might not win that division. Hmm. Can we find a bet for them not to make the playoffs? What's them not to make it? Plus 100? That's a little scary. That's not really good. That's even money for them not to make the playoffs. That's kind of baked in right there, if you think about it. I think that would be the bet. Looking at this number right here, I wonder if it's. Let me go to uh let me go to DraftKings real quick. I'm just doing it on another screen, y'all. I just want to see if it's plus money on DraftKings for them not to make the playoffs. No, it's the same bet. I don't think it's worth the bet because I'm not getting a lot of money. If this was like plus 150, I think it'd be worth the bet. But the fact that it's almost even, it's not. In fact, it's almost, it is. It's even money for them not to make the playoffs. I think you could find a bet for them not to make the playoffs. To be honest, even though I think they win 9 games, it's just too much. If they don't, because they have to win a division to make the playoffs. If you think about it, right? And if they can't win the division with three open spots, you got the Cowboys, you got the Giants, you got the Lions. Say the Vikings win that. So you got 4 teams. I mean, 3 teams, including yourself. And is there a surprise team? Like, do the Bears all of a sudden become 9-8 too? Right? Can the NFC North produce 2? So Cowboys, Giants, real threats, Cowboys, Giants. I would say the Vikings if the Lions win that division. So those are 3 solid teams that the Seattle Seahawks have to contend with. This is not an official bet, but I like this bet. I'm just not waiting. Cause $100 to win 100, I'm just not waiting the season to do that. So no bet on so far. We can't find a bet on the Niners or Seattle right now. So no bet so far on this division. And that's okay. You don't have to bet everything. Right? But that's okay. That's okay. Brian, what's up, bro? What's going on, man? All right, let's go to the next team. Let's go to the Rams. We'll save the bum ass Gannon team for the last because there ain't gonna be much to say for them bums. All right, so the Rams +1, +10 to 1, +1,000. Can we find a bet for the Rams to win this division? Hell no. They lost Wagner on that defense. They lost Ramsey on that defense. I think they lost Floyd on that defense. It's the defense. I mean, the defense was already Donald, but now it really is Donald. You know what they're doing with Donald? They're practicing double and triple and team Aaron Donald. And not even that, he was already checked out. He was talking about retiring. So this Rams team is going to be really bad. I get Stafford's back. He's going to be healthy. Kupp is back. He's going to be healthy. But without Kupp, they have nothing on offense. Akers ain't it. Cam Akers is not going to hold this team down, right? And then what was it, Van Jefferson, or as a receiver, Tyler Higbee? Come on, man. I mean, no knock, but don't they have an all-white receiving corps? Right? I'm gonna keep it a beat. That's not going to work in the NFL. Right? An all-white receiving core is not going to work in the NFL. That's kidding. Keep it a bean. I'm keeping it 100. That's no knock. I'm just letting you know. Like that's not going to work in the NFL. It's not going to happen. You know what I mean? I'm thinking who's a good white receiver? Don Beebe was a good white receiver. Ed McCafferty, like obviously Cooper Cup. I'm trying to think. Who's the best white receiver you've ever seen? It's got to be Cooper Cup, right? Dallas Clark was a tight end. You got to go to the old guys to find this one. I'm trying to think, man. Who was like really Wes Walker, right? Was good. Um, yeah, Wes has got to be up there. You could probably Google that. Oh shit, I lost five. I lost viewers from that comment. My bad. My bad. He said he's talking shit. Uh, Tommy A, man, what's good, bro? What's going on? Oh man, I see LA Rams. LA Rams will have a great start this year. Oh, really? Let's look at that. Let's look at that. What's their schedule? All right, talk to me. Make your point valid, brother. Make your point valid. Let me bring it up because we haven't found a bet for this division yet. Great start. These MFers might not even win a game. Loss, loss, loss. Right. Three of their first four are on the road. Maybe they might eke out a win here in the Colts. Loss. They'll beat Zona. They won't beat Pittsburgh. A loss. At Green Bay. Ooh. Maybe. Maybe. Did they beat Seattle? They split Seattle. Maybe. They beat Arizona. Home for Cleveland. I don't think so. Loss, 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 loss. How many wins we got here? Best case scenario, they beat the Colts. They beat Arizona. Say they beat Green Bay at Lambeau. So that's three. They beat Arizona again. That's four. So they split Seattle five. Beat Washington six. And maybe beat New Orleans. So 7-10 at best, maybe. At best, can you find 7 wins here? I don't know. That's tough. That is tough. And they got a pretty bad stretch right here. They got a bad stretch to open up, like Seattle, San Fran, Cincinnati. That's tough. And then have Philly first 4 games. Three of the 5 teams in your first 5 are Super Bowl contending teams. Playoffs, 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 playoffs. Pittsburgh didn't make the playoffs. Baltimore made the playoffs. They got a lot of playoff. New York made the playoffs. A lot of playoff teams here. I don't know about that, bro. Don't know about that. Don't know about that. Wow, we got a lot of Rams fans, really? Still got a decent defense. You think so, bro? Who's on this defense that's good? Or legit? Let me take it back. Legit. Let's look at the depth chart. Like where do you see like a great defense here? Like I'm looking. Remember, they ain't had no draft picks really like that either because of the Stafford trade. So it's not like they got a lot of draft picks. Like, who were their draft picks? I don't even know who their draft picks were. Are y'all? Yeah, I mean, I get being Rams fans, but let's be realistic, man. Oh yeah, they got it. They got the guard. That's right, TCU, and an outside linebacker. A guard, outside linebacker. I mean, Young was decent, right? A D lineman. Stetson Bennett was a, you know what I mean? Like, I don't know, man. Really? I'm looking. I'm not saying they lost a lot too. Yeah, I'm gonna have to say no to that, bro. And they're off. I mean, this is the man. Let's not get it twisted. This is the man, but this is it, right? Now, what Van Joseph do last year? I think he had an okay. No, he didn't. My bad. No, he didn't. All right, this is gonna be trouble. This is gonna be trouble. Um, and I like Cam Akers. I think he's gonna get better, but you know, he also didn't play the whole year last year either, right? So I know he did. Yeah, I don't know, bro. I don't see it. I don't see it. But hey, I mean, if you like him, all right. Let's see if we can find a bet for something on them. Obviously, no, not for a division winner. Let's see if we do some total wins here. What's their wins? 6.5. Unders minus 135. I said best case scenario was 7 wins from what I saw. Just glancing at it, it's obviously a no bet here. I think they only win maybe 4 games. What about alternate win? Can we go? What's here? Oh, there we go. Okay, under 5 wins, under 4 wins, or under 6 wins. Huh. Hmm. Under 6 wins. 4.5, 5.5. If this was over 2-1, then I think this is a decent bet here. But you got to go right here under 4.5 wins to get plus 230. I don't think they'll be that bad. I think you can find 5 wins in this schedule. So still no bet for me. We're not betting anything in playoffs. The only thing I would bet here is Cooper Cup. Any props for him? For him to lead, like lead the league in receiving. That's probably a decent bet if you can find it. Let me see if they have it here. Like his touchdowns would probably make sense here. He's not even up here. Yeah. Let's see. There we go. Most regular season total receiving yards. Like 12-1. I think I can find a bet because he's all they got, really. He's going to get 100 receptions. He's going to get at least like 15 to 1,600 yards, especially if he plays all 16. So I think I can find a bet here. I think this is the only bet I can find um, for them. Let me just look at his numbers. That Super Bowl year, what do you have? Like 150 receptions and almost 2,000 yards. He almost broke the record, if I'm not mistaken. Because I don't think anybody's had. Has anybody ever had 2,000 yards receiving in a season? And the thing I love about him, he's so humble. You know what I mean? He's so humble. Such a great player. Yeah, 1,900 yards from a year ago. Yeah, just a year ago. He had 145 receptions and 1,900 yards. Now 2021 season. It's a monster. 16 touchdowns. Last year, he had 812 yards in 9 games and 6 touchdowns. Monster. Like he's just a monster. 70 had 75 receptions already. Like just ridiculous. What was his game split last year? Like, yeah, 9 catches, 127 yards. 8 catches, 127 yards. Like he starts like his first game, he had 13 receptions, 128 yards. So I can find a bet here. Like I don't mind putting, 75 on it. That's worth it to me. I think this would be our first best bet. Cooper Cup, most regular season total receiving yards. This will be tough though. It's not going to be easy. You got Tyreek there, you got Jefferson there, but where he was last year, I think he was leading the league out of, the first 9 games, if I'm not mistaken. Like, let me see. Let me see if I can find that. 2022 week 8 leaders. Let's see if I can find that. Top rushers. Yeah, I can't find that right now. But I think he was easily top three, top five. So anything can happen. They'll be behind a lot. They'll have to throw a lot. So ultimate usage already anyway, and then the fact that they have to throw a lot. Yeah, give me Cooper Cup. Most regular season total receiving yards. Nothing crazy. 75 to win 900. First best bet of the day. But other than that, I can't find anything else. I'm not betting Aaron Donald to win. Um, you know, defensive player of the year or anything like that. He's just not gonna happen. Not gonna happen. All right. Last team of the day, Arizona Cardinals. The only thing I can find here on the Arizona Cardinals, they're just gonna suck. Who knows if Murray's even playing? I'm not sure if they win a game next year. Right. So I'm looking here. Let me bring up their schedule real quick. And let's see if we can find that bet of them not winning a goddamn game. All right, so we got the Cardinals, and then we'll get everybody out of here. We'll finish off with an NFC West wide receiver parlay. Been killing the wide receiver parlays. All right, looking at this schedule, so we have to understand if Murray's playing or not. If Murray's not playing, who is the backup quarterback? Because I don't even know who it is. Colt McCoy. So he stinks. Murray's out. Ertz is hurt. Marquise Hollywood Brown is there. Obviously, we know Hopkins is gone. Their first round pick, Paris Jones. So should give them some time up front. What about this defense? I think this was a pick, right? I forget where he's from. Kaiser White, Buda Baker still there, who doesn't want to be there. So they're going to be horrible. They're looking at that roster. Now, where can we find the win at? Is the question. Atlanta, Houston, right? One of these two. Other than that, they're gonna lose every game, bro. They're gonna lose absolutely every game. Their best bet is beating the Rams. So when you think about this, right, and you look at under 1.5 at 7-1, it's not enough odds. This should be like 12-1 or 15-1. So that tells you how bad they're going to be. So let's look at another team. Can we find going to be another bad? Like I don't think anybody else has those odds like that. Texans maybe? No. Colts maybe? No. Nobody has odds like that. That's insane. But it's not though. Tampa maybe? No. Yeah. It's just them. So we saw 3 games they could possibly win here. That means they would have to sweep the Rams in the series. So this is not enough odds here, but I can find the 2.5 bet here. And I think this is going to be my second best bet. Now, not the odds I want, but I love 3-1. And any bet, I don't think they win 3 games next year. I really don't. I mean, they lost. Didn't they have 4 games last year? What was their record last year? Um, let's see here. Cardinals. 14. Yeah, they won 4 games last year. 4-13 last year. Ed Murray played last year, if I'm not mistaken. Um, right? That's with him playing. They lost the last. Oh man, they beat the Panthers last year. They beat the Saints. They beat the Rams, and they beat in overtime. They beat the Raiders. But that's with him playing, and that's with Hopkins play. With the Hopkins start in the beginning, like the 1.5 is tempting at 7-1, but love this one under 3 wins. They only get 2. I don't think they get the 3 wins. I really don't. So second best bet of the day. Got to throw a little bit on it. Give me the Arizona Cardinals under 2.5 wins. I think it's going to be really tough for this team to win. Gannon, if you can find Gannon being fired, he might be the first head coach to be fired too. If you can find that prop. Right? Shout out right out of a Gannon. So give me the Arizona Cardinals under 2.5 wins. All right. Those are the NFC West best bets of the day. Let's get you guys out of here with a quick NFC West parlay. I've been loving these receiving parlays on the yards. Where is it? Where's that receiving prompt parlay? Is it regular season yards, total yards? They don't have them no more? There's touchdowns. Here it is. Okay, here we go. So I've been doing 1,000 parlays, 1,000 yard parlays. So Cooper Cup, obvious. Now last year, Metcalf and um, Lockett got it last year. I'm gonna go with the more consistent of the two. Give me Tyler Lockett. He's had 1,000 yards in the last like 5 years. Can we find somebody else who gets us 1,000 yards? Where's Ayuk? I think Ayuk is ready. They don't even have Ayuk on here, man. Wow. No Ayuk. I don't like Debo. He runs the ball too much. And Kittle. They don't have Ayuk though. Wow. To get 1,000 yards, they don't have Ayuk on here? That's crazy. It's a no bet then. I'm not putting Kittle in there. Oh, you guys can't even see my screen. My bad. Sorry. Let me add this one. So I'm doing a parlay for receiving prompt over 1,000 yards. I've been doing it for every one, and I'm looking for Ayuk, but they don't have him. They have Debo and Kittle, but they don't have Brandon Ayuk. That's crazy. You would think he would be up there. I'm not sure. Did he have I don't think he had 1,000 yards last year. I know Debo didn't. Wow, that's really disappointing. I thought he would be up there. He had 1,000 yards last year. And Kittle and Debo. Oh man. Hmm. Yeah. I mean, it's a 2-to-1 parlay here. Plus 321. I would want just a little bit more odds to get us almost close to 10-to-1 here. I mean, you can mix and match obviously how you want. I wanted to stick in the division, but there's no Brandon Ayuk on the receiving prompt. So let me just look. Is it on DraftKings? I don't know if we can do this one on DraftKings though. That's why I like doing it on here. Like we have player stats, right? Wide receiver milestones, receptions, dominance. Like we got all kinds of other stuff. How about league leaders? Let's see. Can we parlay on DraftKings? But if I can't find Brandon Ayuk on the book, then it's a no bet for me. This is clocking's taking too long. I can see the Cards winning 4 games. Rams, Browns, Bills. They're gonna beat the Bills. I mean, Browns count how good the Browns are, but you think the Cardinals could beat the Browns and the Bills? Really? Good luck betting that. I'm not betting that. There's no way. All right, it's a here we go. Rushing yards. Can I find a bet here? I mean receiving yards. Yeah, they won't let me do it like they in DraftKings. FanDuel doesn't have that type of bet. Yeah. All right. It's all good. Hey, we found ourselves two bets though. Um, we found Cooper Cup future bet to lead the league in receiving, and we found under 2.5 wins for the Arizona Cardinals. So those are our bets of the day. You said, oh, Raven. You think they can beat the Ravens? Bills or Ravens? I don't know about that, bro, man. Don't know about that. But keep it coming, man. Keep the comments coming. If you're not following me, bro, make sure you follow me on all Money Pot podcasts, Money Pot betting platforms. You can find me on YouTube, Twitter, and Facebook. Thanks everybody for coming in and joining. I appreciate the love and the support, man. Make sure you tell a friend to tell a friend. This is Moss Money. This is Money Pot betting. I'm out of here.